So you miss Canva and Kick It and you want to create a flyer, or at least let me walk you through the steps on how we can create a flyer. So what I have here is the items or elements that we are going to work with. We have a Nike shoe that was created in ChatGPT. This is a Nike logo that I just got off Google. This is our first font, which is called Six Caps. Our second font is called Hustle Drips, which I got off of Font Space. And then the third font is Garrett. So these three fonts, plus we have a cloud element and then this sky or cloud background. We're going to use these elements to create a Nike flyer. Now, one of the things that I want to show you is that I did use ChatGPT to create my shoe. I just typed in the type of shoe and the style that I was looking for. It gave me the shoe. Then I asked it to name the shoe. So it gave me the Nike Dunk High, Cloud Walkers. And then from here, I just did a selection and circled the top and said I wanted it to say Nike. And there's that. And then I asked it for some copy to create the flyer, and it gave me some more information. So this is the details that I will be using for our flyer. So let me just go ahead and add this over here. And then I will come back and get that. So first things first, we are working with a Canva size of, this is a 1080 by 1350 pixels. And this is a great size for social media, Facebook. It even works well as digital if you wanted to text the image or flyer to someone. First thing we're going to do is we're going to build this flyer from the back up. All right. First thing we need is our sky. So I am going to take this, and if you want to know the exact name of it, it's just clouds and a blue sky. All right, so I'm going to right click it and do replace background. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and stretch this out some and then hit done. I'm also going to go ahead and lower our transparency just a little, and it already gives us some over here on our color details. It already pulls some of the colors from the image, so I'm just going to change that to one of these, and I think I like this one. All right, up next we're going to place some text. So I'm going to grab this font first, which is our Six Caps. I will bring that down here, and we're going to put the name of the shoe. So I'm going to go ahead and type out Cloud Walkers. Let's go ahead and stretch that out some. And then underneath, I'm going to put Nike Dunks. Now, I want this to be a little larger than the Cloud Dunks, so I'm going to go ahead and place it directly over. And up here, I'm going to make sure everything is left aligned. I'm going to make this a little larger, and we're going to line this up. And then I'm going to come up here under Effects. We're going to give it a hollow look, and we're going to drag this all the way over to make our thickness a little thinner. So that looks good. So I'm going to select both of these and make sure I line them up so that it's in the center. And I'm going to lower the transparency on those just a little bit because I kind of want it to blend in just a little with the background. And this is our final look for that. Up next, I am going to grab our shoe. So I will take this shoe and bring it down here, and I'm going to remove the background. Then I am going to stretch out this shoe because I do want it to be directly over this text. And then I'm going to come up here to edit, and we are going to go ahead and do a shadow and do a drop shadow on that. And then we're going to go back under filters. We're going to add the third one right here, Belvedere. And we're going to lower that down just a little. And I am going to tilt my shoe. And so that looks good like that. Now taking this same shoe, I am going to duplicate it. I'm going to hit edit, and over here under our edits, under effects, I'm going to select blur. We're going to select the whole image, and I am going to blur this out to about a 45% and then go back. All right. And then this is what I'm left with. I'm going to flip this shoe. I'm going to make it smaller, and we're going to tuck this over here in the corner. And then we're also going to go ahead and lower the transparency. All right. Then I'm going to duplicate the shoe. So you can either hold down the shoe and click Alt or Command, or with the element selected, you can select right here for duplicate. And then I am just going to drag this over here in the corner like so. So then this is what we currently have. All right. Up next, I am going to add some, we need like a pop of color. So I'm going to bring yellow into the mix because I feel like that would be a good color. So first, I'm just going to add some small details around the edges using our third font, which is going to be Garrett. And we're going to type Cloud Walkers space limited edition. All right, so I'm going to take this. We are going to lower the font size. I'm going to change it to yellow. You can also come up here and pick a yellow color that you like, but I think this one's just fine. We're going to use up here, uppercase, and then I'm going to go down just a little to our spacing. We're going to space this out. And I'm just going to also make sure this is left aligned. And let's spell that right. All right. Now I'm going to take this and we're going to bring it down here in the bottom. So that's looking good. All right. So next I need some like placement text on here. Now, since this is a Nike ad, I do want to add some text around it that kind of supports it. If it was a real Nike ad, of course, I would have the exact copy that I need. So I could take some of the information from here, but I want to see it more paragraph form. So I'm going to grab some placement text and I use Cupcake Ipsum. Now, there is an app in Canva called Laura Ipsum if you want to use that one instead of using this. I just like using that. But if you go under apps and it'll pull up for you, you can type in Lorem. And then they have all these options for you to add any placement text. And this is good if you're creating any type of template. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and place my text on here. I'm going to make this small because it doesn't need to overpower my design. I'm going to make sure it's left aligned. And I'm just going to make it a little smaller. And I am just going to place my text where I see fit. And there we go. And then I'm going to change both of those to the color white. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Next, I am going to come up here and we're going to use this Nike. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and remove the background. As you can see, it's black. So while this is selected, we can hit edit. We can come down here under effects and hit dual tone. I'm going to use the first one, select custom, go to shadows and take this one all the way up to white. And then now I have a white design. All right, so we can go ahead and exit out of this. I'm going to make this a little smaller and go to position and then put it in the center. And I think I like it right there. Now, as you can see, we've used everything but our third font, but I want to move this design up some. So I am going to select all three of these, or I can come up here to position. So if you select an element and hit position, I can go under my layers panel and then I can select the items that I want. So I know I want this one, and you can hold down the control key and I can select my text, and then I can move all of those up together. Right. So to me, that looks good. But now I also feel like my background should be a little darker. So I'm going to go ahead and select the background, select this color. My color options are going to pull up and I'm going to find a darker color. And I like this better using that darker. And I can also select this color and I can go even darker if I would like to make that pop some. All right, I'm going to stretch out my shoe just a little bit more. And then the last thing we need to add is our font 2. I am going to take this saying that I got from ChatGPT. I am going to put it in the font. And we're going to stretch it out. Let's lower the font size first and then we can stretch it out. I'm going to turn this to the side. And because we're still playing with that pop of color, what I'm going to do is go ahead and change this to that yellow. And we can just play around with that, tilting it to the side, creating a little bit more depth and dimension in our design. And let's make sure this is up there. And then last but not least is we have these clouds. So sorry about that. We have these clouds. So I'm just going to take that and position them to the back. I can go either here under layers. I can just go to arrange and do to the back. I'm going to put some on this side. And then I'm going to hold down my Alt key, click and drag, and then I can place one on this side. Now you can also lower this transparency and just play around with that. And I'm just going to move it up some on both sides and lower the transparency on that one just a smidge. And if you have to get to something, remember, use your layers and you can get to something pretty quickly. All right. And just like that, we now have our Nike flyer design. So cute. So if you want to do the whole billboard effect thing, so I can come over here to my mid journey. I did try to create the shoes up here, but they weren't giving me what I needed. So I can go under my create here, and I'm just going to search under mine here for billboard. And then I have a couple to choose from. I'm just going to select this one. I'm going to copy it and bring it over here into Canva. Now, what I'm also going to go ahead and do is download this as a PNG. So we'll just go to share, download PNG. I'm going to select the current page and hit download. I'm then going to take this and I can make it fill up our space here. There we go. And while it's selected, I can hit edit. And then we're going to go to mockups, and I am going to click to create a mockup template. Now this is a pro feature, so you will need a pro account in order to access this, and it is going to take its time to determine which part of this image should be a mockup. I'm going to select which option I like best, so I'll pick the first one and hit confirm. And from here, it's going to turn this into a mock-up, and this image will then appear over here. So there we go. We got that frame. You can drag and drop your image in, and it's going to do its thing. And voila. Now you can also double click in here to adjust or edit. So if you want to do fit to make sure it all appears, or you can stretch it out and move this around as you see fit. Once you do that, hit apply changes. And there you go. And just like that, you not only have your flyer, but you also have a cool mock-up to show off your designs. I hope this was helpful, and you can find the template in the comments. Keep designing, girls.